Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I am Mike, and this is a spoiler review for Five Nights at Freddy's, something I knew next to nothing about, barely knew anything about it, except for I've seen my kids play it a couple times. I know the idea. It's that all these monsters inside of a fucking Chuck E. Cheese. So that's what I knew about it going into it. As I said in the regular review, which if you've not seen the movie and you think there's an inkling of a tit that you might watch it at some point, check out the regular review instead of this one so we don't ruin it for you. But this is going to be all spoilers. I'm going to kind of reverse engineer this one because that's kind of what they did with the story, the way I assume, from what I've gathered myself. I haven't gone back and looked at the exact lore, but the way I take it is they took the existing lore and they just added a bunch of shit on it, which is weird when you consider that, from what most people have told me, the lore and how deep it goes is one of the biggest attractions to Five Nights at Freddy's. But what they did here was you have this central story that they take the longest, dullest road possible in this movie to get through with this crazy dreams thing that we'll get to. But basically where they land is that this guy, William Afton, killed these kids. He actually took their bodies and put them inside of like the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics that for some reason, and they never explain how, maybe that's in the later movies or something like that, they never explain how, for some reason are controlled by this William Afton character. Like they can just be kids that happen to be trapped in this situation, but he can do something to them to make them murder at will. That's the way I took it. But they just took the long, and it's a cool story. I mean, it's a really fucking rad story when you think about it. When you put that lore together, I dig the shit out of it. I really do. That was probably the best part of the film when you realize how fucked up and twisted all that really is. And I get why people love it so much. I really do. The movie just, again, took the boringest road to get there possible. The way that they explain this was they give us this Josh Hutcherson character, and he was fine in the movie. The movie had him just doped up, and I get that's who he's supposed to be playing, but God, my God, it was fucking boring and dumb to watch. Like, if someone would just be talking to him, and they'd be like, hey, man, would you like $100 bill? And he'd be like, spaghetti. Like, I'm just like, dude, you're not even, you can at least communicate. I mean, what are we doing here? Is he actually invalid? Like, what the fuck? It was so boring and annoying to watch. And anyways, he's this character who his little brother was abducted when he was younger, and he read this book where you can go back into your dreams and get details of those moments if you try hard enough. So he uses this picture of Nebraska where the event happened out when he was a kid, and he takes these sleeping pills and he goes to sleep and he tries to put himself back in that moment, which is really a stretchy pants McGee as fuck plot anyway, but that I can get into. It's sort of like Hypnosil, Nightmare on Elm Street type shit. That was all right. It's an all right idea. But the way that they just fucking batter caked us with it, I don't even know what that means, but the way they just slapped us in the face with their dicks with it over and over and over again was super annoying by the end of it, because like every 10 minutes we gotta watch this dude go back into his dream and recreate that exact same scenario, and then these fucking kids start showing up because I guess he's inside of the pizzeria and the kid souls are there so that they meet his dreams. Fuck, I don't know, man. They're there, and these kids that are inside of these animatronics they kill people who are there. And William Afton's character is fucking Matthew Lillard, and he's so good in the movie. He's amazing. Just give that guy every role. I mean, he just sticks life right into this movie every second he's on screen, which is not that much. He's in the movie like twice leading up to it. He hires him, as you saw in the commercials, and he's hilarious and he's amazing, and it's just weird, strange quirks. He's unlike anybody else. It's just like one of the reasons I love Blink-182 so much. When you hear Tom DeLonge sing, that's fucking Tom DeLonge. Nobody else is doing that. When Matthew Lillard is on screen, nobody else is doing it like that. He is one of one, and I wish to God he was in more stuff. But he's in there like twice. There's a phone call, and then there's a scene with him where he really shines, though, and I could not wait to talk about this, was when it's all unveiled that William Afton has stuck these kids' dead bodies inside. It's a really fucked up thing inside these Chuck E. Cheese machines and kind of rules over them. When he shows up and he's wearing the suit, at first I was kind of disappointed because you can hear the Matthew Lillard behind the robot sounding voice or whatever. You could still hear it there, and I was like, man, it felt like Scream, right? It felt like, because he was basically doing his bad guy monologue reveal, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I can't wait to see him go over the top with it and just do what Matthew Lillard fucking does, man. And then finally he takes off the helmet, which was cool. And they could have definitely gone harder with that. Like, he could definitely had more lines in that moment. I was really hoping for it to hit its stride and go crazy, but it was good enough. It was fun to see Matthew Lillard just fucking hamming it up and being the bad guy and being sort of wild and crazy kids the way that he does. I absolutely love that scene. That was the best part of the movie, in my opinion. But yeah, the lead up to that, you've got this heartbreaking story with this little girl, Lily, who her brother's taking care of her, and they just have like the most miserable lives ever. It's just sad to watch, and it's hard to watch, and you do feel for him. But there's also the biggest problem with this fucking movie is his inability to communicate drives you insane. Specifically when he gets the job and he goes there and like he's standing there, his life fucking sucks, right? Everything's shitty and he has to take this job because his aunt's gonna get custody of his kid if he doesn't. And he goes in there, and I get the backstory. It's kind of cool how he was so protective. He beat the shit out of a dad at the shopping mall. Because he thought that he was stealing a kid. Like, I could feel for him in that. And that was another great scene when Matthew Lillard's character's like, so you've done all this shit and you're sitting in front of me asking for my help. It was some good dialogue. And of course, Hutchinson just sat there like, you don't want me to go, I'll go. Like, just fucking take a caffeine pill. I get the character, but you're driving me crazy. But he's there, and this cop lady shows up. TJ Hooker, all right. You got a date with her at the municipal court system. What movie is that from? Comment down below. But this cop shows up, and this gorgeous, super nice lady shows up, and she seems totally into you for God knows the fuck why. And I guess that's a part of the whole undergoing plot or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, so... I'm so fucking annoyed. I'm like, all right, Napoleon Dynamite, slap the fuck out of it. Do something good for yourself every once in a while. But that was really annoying. And these two and their inability to fucking communicate throughout the entire film just drives me up a fucking wall, especially when her character reveal happens. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like, okay, William Afton turns out to be her dad, but you all let that fucking kid play with these. You found out these animatronics were alive like halfway through the film, but because they're being nice and like tickling her and shit, I'm not gonna let a robot tickle my fucking kid's sister. Are you kidding me? What the fuck is going on here? Have you ever watched Terminator 2? Have you ever watched Dateline NBC? Have you fucking you're stupid is what you are. You deserve everything bad that happens to you. You're gonna take that kid there. Oh, but she really wanted to go. Well, you're her fucking guardian. You know what? Maybe the aunt who smells like cigarettes should take the goddamn kid over at this point. What the fuck is wrong with you people? And then the cop who knows that things are demonically possessed is just like, we're gonna make a fucking fort. Bitch, what the fuck are you thinking? What is anybody thinking in this situation? And then when she explains it at the end that, oh, it is my dad, I'm like, no, you're actually a piece of shit. So like, you let people get murdered and you covered it. What is your deal? How are you still a good guy? This must be explained to me somewhere down the line. Why do I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed when he's talking to like his uncle or whatever? He's like, maybe you should ask yourself some questions. Is my wife a money grubbing whore? I don't know if you guys remember that scene or not, but it's a great scene. But that storyline was just broken as shit. And again, this is shit Blumhouse Universal, the people who wrote the script, can fix easily. Just tie in some shit here and there. Have the characters fucking communicate like real human beings. Like nothing, like they could explain and fix so much shit in this movie if these characters would just fucking talk to each other for 5 seconds. But instead they're withholding stupid pieces of information just as plot armor because the movie doesn't want to take the time to explain it. And by the way, it's not like you didn't have running time you could have cut out. There's 20 fucking minutes of dream sequences in this movie that just repeat the same shit over and over again. The movie's boring as hell for half of it. The only saving graces for the entire thing are the acting throughout, because even though the characters and their inability to communicate is really dumb, everybody's good in the movie. Josh Hutcherson's good in the movie. The lady cop is really good in the movie. As I said in the regular review, I think she's going to be a fucking star. I think she's going to be huge. She just has whatever it is. I think she's going to be great. The setting's awesome. They did the animatronics right. Thank God they live actioned it. They look cool. They just never did anything. They gave this scene that they repeated several times where a character would wake up and it would be doing his face would be open, right? And it's doing the grindy gears thing. And I'm like, dude, we've seen Saw. Like, this isn't scary at all. We've seen this a billion times done before. It doesn't even raise the heart rate a fucking smidgen. It does nothing. And then like when the bad guys, and they did that whole plot where they were going to help her by fucking it up and making him lose his job. There's a million other ways that they could go about it. They could literally plant some fucking cocaine in his house and call the cops. I mean, but because it fits the movie, we've got to go and wreck this entire thing and make sure he loses his $10 an hour security job. It's dumb. But anyways, they go in and they wreck the place up, which is actually hard to watch. I was like, please stop. When he cleans it up, it was very, very satisfying for me in a very strange way. But those are the only people who really get killed in the movie. You see one shot of gore where someone's face has been squished up or whatever. But They're creepy the way they move around. They're creepy the way that they hide in shadows. They look really good. Their mouths and their heads and their eyes move really good. That stuff was the only saving grace for the movie, apart from the acting as well. But ultimately, they would just end up chasing someone down a hallway. And the creepiest scene you would get is that person screaming as they got to the door, and then we just cut away from it. You can't show anything because it's fucking PG-13. And again, I get that it's supposed to be gateway horror, but really what's going on is Blumhouse just wants to sell as many fucking tickets as possible, which works. PG-13 horror can work, but this doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it can be scary. This was not. It was not scary in the goddamn slightest. And yeah, I mean, what the hell else even happens? Not a lot actually happens in this movie. Like, they look cool coming up, like when the kid's hiding in like the ball pit or whatever, and they're turning around corners. They look cool and they have cool moments. And again, the storyline is really fucking awesome, but they just took that from something else and almost fucked that part up too by muddling it up with all this dumb shit. And at the end of the movie, when William Afton's character gets electrocuted, by the way, how easy is it to get rid of these things? Oh, you can kill them with electricity. Well, fuck, that's not hard at all. I mean, not at all is that hard. He just basically mows through them pretty quick at the end of the movie. We get to William Afton's character, and they decide to, the little girl, they love the drawing so much, that's the only thing they understand. That's the way they're communicated with. So she draws the picture of them killing those kids and puts it on the wall. And now somehow the animatronics, you got to stretch a lot. You really do. But we expected that, I think, going into this. The animatronics understand that he's the one that killed him. They turn on him and kill him. But he goes, and that also is pretty awesome scene when he puts it, he's like, I always come back. And I'm like, I'll be right back. But he puts the helmet on, and then you get the idea. I guess he's gonna become full Super Shredder in the sequels. It's just, I don't know the lore. I just expect that that's what's going to happen. But at the end of this movie, you've got the aunt who's been murdered because Freddy Fazbear can just travel wherever the fuck he wants to go. People made fun of it. It's so dumb that Michael Myers left the pit to go walk around town and like stalk Laurie. How the fuck this thing gets around town? It's even in a taxi at one point, for the sake of making the taxi driver joke. It's also stretchy fucking pants McGee. I can't get my head around it. But anyways, the aunt's dead. Okay, so if you're Josh Hutcherson, you got all these problems. You're on all these drugs. By the way, this cop who just has all the free time in the world just threw your sleeping pills into a lake. That's fucking not what. But anyways, that's aside from the fucking point. You've got your aunt dead in the house. Okay, at the security job where you were working, people are dead and have gone missing. There's multiple dead bodies there. You've been involved with a cop who was stabbed in the stomach, and he's just hanging out with his kid. No cops asked any questions, just like before with the break-in or whatever. She's like, I'm the one handling this, but if I have to say you left it unlocked, then it's like, he didn't leave it unlocked. He was there. He was off of work when it happened, and we saw him lock the gate. Why are we even questioning him? Someone broke in when there wasn't a security guard there. But she's apparently like the entire judicial system in this town. Just this one cop lady. It's fucking stupid. So yeah, all in all, I don't even know what these animatronic like skills were. Like, you had the little cupcake guy going around and like biting people's ankles and shit, which that was just like the least scary thing ever. That was just dumb. But like the big ones are the scary ones, right? And the main one specifically, the way he looks at you with his like disappointed eyes, like your dad when you got a D on a test, is the scariest part of those things. But like, other than the saw, the gears thing, I don't know what the fuck they do. Like, I don't know what, like, you got the Cenobites, right? And you got these fucked up things that they all do. I don't even know what these things are. I just look at, you got the big bird, you got the fucking bear. They focused on all the wrong shit. We focused on this fucking picnic for an hour of the goddamn movie. And then this fucker's like, yeah, I'll give up my little sister. And you're like, what? He's like, oh no, I changed my mind. He's like, why were you even thinking about it, fuckhead? I get the sentiment behind it, but I just thought that the story was lacking. As I said in the original review, the script is the scariest part of this entire fucking movie. And I hope that people who love Five Nights at Freddy's absolutely adored this. I hope you guys had a blast and it made your whole fucking year. I hope that the Easter eggs were galore and you just loved it. Maybe it's not for people my age. Maybe it's not for non-huge fans of it. In my opinion, the movie's a 5.5 tops, and Blumhouse continues to make average ass movies based on IP alone that are far too safe to ever move the needle for horror, other than the bank account. So Yeah, I think I covered it all. I think I covered most of it, as much as I can think of. If I missed anything, comment down below. We will talk about it. Thank you guys for watching this and for hanging out with me. And we will see. We cover everything on this channel. If you're new here, we cover all the horror news and all the horror movies. So don't forget to click subscribe, and we can touch each other's butts later. I love your all's face, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn.
Goddamn you, faggot!
Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS.